What's going on, everybody? B. Scott, I'm here with
Godzilla.
And on today's show, we got your matchup video heading in to week number 15. We like to go through every single matchup, give you our picks against the spread, and look at the numbers and lay it out for you.
Yeah.
So keep it locked and loaded right here at the first four downs.
You already know. 12-1 last week, followed by 9-2 in the week before. We're doing this. Cooking. Let's go.
Everybody, welcome back. B. Scott God here, and we're going through the matchups heading into week number 15. We do it every single week. We look at every single matchup, break it down, give you our opinions and our advice based on betting and just where the spreads are at and what we like.
Just the game function and how it go. Who gonna win? Who gonna lose?
Yeah, of course. So before we get to today's content, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell, all that good stuff, and then comment. You want to talk anything football related, fantasy football related, about any of these matchups.
I can't personally talk about fantasy football because my team didn't make the playoffs in our redraft league. But B. Scott, week in and week out, sit starts, waiver wire edition. He got you. You already know what it is. We've been the plug.
Yeah, of course. So let's dive into the matchups. We're going to look at the first one. It's the Indianapolis Colts at home against the New England Patriots. It's a Saturday night football game. It's a couple of the games moved around, so we're going to be talking about them in that order.
Yes,
but the Colts, -2.5 at home against New England Patriots, 45.5 over-under. The Colts, what can you say about them? They can run the football effectively, I would say, I guess, with Jonathan Taylor. He's outstanding.
They've been hot.
He's absolutely great. Michael Pittman, a good emerging young wide receiver. Carson Wentz, this is my worry in this game. They're going to have to rely on him at some point to make some plays, especially against a New England defense that's going to put their work in to try and stop Jonathan Taylor. So, and on the Patriots side of the ball, they play very sound football. They know how to beat you at all aspects, no matter what. They can target your weaknesses, and they can put it on you, as with the Buffalo Bills. 45 rush attempts, I think, something like that, and just 3 pass attempts. So, for me, I got to take New England in the plus because I just think they're playing better football at this point, and they make less mistakes. And to me, Carson Wentz tends to make mistakes in these big games.
Yeah.
You've seen it against Tennessee Titans, where they lost and he threw 2 interceptions at the end of that game. I don't love it here. New England, I would buy a point. I like the 3.5 better just in case. But I really think New England can win this football game outright anyway. And the over-under at 45.5, I'm not so sure. I would think it could go over because both these teams can score some points. But I like New England here.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game to see on Saturday night. You know what I mean? Two teams that, one team is on the rise right now. And One team has been completely winning. You look at Bill Belichick and his record against the Colts, even in the Peyton Manning days with Brady, they own these people. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
It is what it is. So the expectation is for the hot team right now to win. Jonathan Taylor has been on a tear in the league, just supplanting Derrick Henry right now as the number 1 back in his league. He's been pretty much a supernova. Unstoppable.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
But in this game, I think it's going to be a little bit more different. I think that they can slow him down a little bit. And by that, I mean like 100 yards and a touchdown. Hopefully they can slow it down to here. Because if the Colts get ahead in this game, what people fail to realize, I mean, looking at the Buffalo game that they played, the Patriots, they only threw the ball 3 times in that game. But on the season, the Patriots are the number 1 pass-efficient team in football. So I think that they can come alive in this game. And, even if they are behind, they can cover the spread light easily.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I really like New England to cover here. You look at the Colts. The Colts is not a bad team. They started off really slow, and their record don't really show that they are.
They had a very tough stretch to begin the season.
In the beginning of the season without Carson Wentz. And, when Carson Wentz came back, it took 2 bad ankles for him to get right and throw out of the pocket. I think that this is a really tight football game. I really do. I think this is like a 28-24 football game or, something close to that. And I really think this is the over. That's my pick for this game, over 45. But I like New England to cover the spread in this one. And I honestly like New England to win, but I think the Colts pull this one out just because they've been hot. And honestly, they haven't been bad all season. Like I said, Carson Wentz wasn't in the first 4 games that they played. So, you know what I mean? I mean, that is what it is.
Yeah. We're right there. Both of us, we like New England on the plus. I like to buy a point to 3.5. Just save you on a field goal. So
there you go. That's good.
On to the Sunday games. We're going to start with the Carolina Panthers on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo -10.5 at home, 44.5 over under. Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's hurt with a foot sprain. Is that going to be enough Carolina is a mess right now on offense. Cam Newton just doesn't look like he has it as a passer. PJ Walker
don't got it.
That's what I'm saying. PJ Walker's mixing and matching.
CFL.
I just don't like the outlook here. The Buffalo Bills defense still very, very good, even without Tre'Davious White. And I just think they're going to handle them. There's no way. I'm going to take Buffalo at 10.5. I can't trust Carolina at all right now. And Carolina's defense has been their strength, but as of late has really faltered a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Who have Carolina stopped?
Yeah. Nobody lately.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of opportunity for backdoor scoring in this game. You know what I mean? I think that Carolina could probably put up a touchdown or two in the second half of this football game, but more than likely it's going to be 50-0, to be honest with you. I mean, we know Buffalo is good against bad teams, and Carolina is a bad team. It is what it is. No Christian McCaffrey, no hope to look for in this game. You know what I mean? I like the 10.5. That's a lock for me.
Okay. Yeah, we're on the same boat there. We can move to the next one. That one's pretty simple.
Yeah.
New York Jets on the road against Miami Dolphins. Miami minus 9.5 at home. 41 over under here. So obviously that means the Jets are going to score no points. Exactly, literally no points.
Or it's going to be 20-10.
I'm sorry. I like Miami. This is one of my better bets of the week because Miami's just on a tear right now. The defense is playing outstanding football. Yes, no Jalen Waddle in this game. Myles Gaskin, Ahmed activated off the COVID list. They'll be back and ready to go. The Jets, they get Michael Carter back. That helps that offense a little bit. And Tevin Coleman, he's back too. Whatever you want to make of that one.
They might confuse that more than it has to be.
Elijah Moore is out. No Corey Davis in this one, so the pass catchers are hurting. And Zach Wilson, man, he just doesn't look like he's got it right now at this point in the season as a rookie. He's just struggled so far, dealt with injuries. I got to take Miami here at 9.5. For me, I like the teaser just to play it safe at 2.5, but I think Miami covers this no problem.
Yeah, Miami. I really don't have nothing to say about this. Miami been kicking the Jets' ass the last couple seasons. If you're scared of the 9.5 points, tease it down to 7. You got a winner by a field goal.
Yep.
I'm taking the Miami Dolphins. Period. That's what it is.
Yeah, of course. So on to the next matchup, Arizona. On the road against the Detroit Lions. Detroit is plus 12.5, so Arizona's favored. 12.5 on the road. 47.5 over under Arizona. No DeAndre Hopkins. Obviously rolled out for the remainder of this regular season.
That could be a problem.
Is that going to hurt Kyler Murray's production here? My thing is, Kyler Murray looks healthy, 1. And 2, the Cardinals play better on the road than they do at home. And so I see this game as could be within the 12.5, but Arizona's been playing very good football. As a whole, the defense still has played at an elite level. I get it. They lost to the Rams, divisional game. Rams needed it more than they did. And Arizona had a few missteps. They've had some missteps at home. Detroit Lions, what can you say good about them? TJ Hawkinson, they put him on IR. He's out for the season.
That's a good thing.
Surgery. That is a good thing. DeAndre Swift, they might as well set him out. There's no reason to bring him back.
That'd be another good thing.
That would be a good thing for them. But as a whole team, they
don't
just
call
don't.
Barry Sanders either.
They just don't got it. So
yeah, they don't
get me wrong. Detroit's played in some very close games at home. Baltimore Ravens being one of them. You know what I mean? Very close game when they should have lost by a lot. So 12.5 is a lot for me with Arizona. I like it in a teaser at 6.5. That'll get you a touchdown to win. Just because Detroit does tend to play a little bit better at home, but Arizona's played so well on the road. You got to go with Arizona here to be favored to win.
Yeah, I like Arizona too a lot. You know what I mean? Hopkins being out could be a problem for the team with Christian Kirk being the number 1 receiver over there because DeAndre Hopkins obviously brings a different coverage to him than Kirk does to him. You know what I mean? But in this game, especially if you have A.J. Green on your team, you might be looking at for him to be a spot start, whatever.
Yeah.
But 12.5, if you're scared of that, go ahead and tease it down. I think you should tease down the over. 7 points, 40 points, that'll go over. I think Detroit scored a touchdown or 2.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They'll probably get in the end zone. Jamal Williams, these guys, maybe they get in the touchdown. You know what I'm saying? But I think it'll be over 40. And honestly, it could be 40-0, to be honest with you. Detroit is playing for a pick, and that is what it is. There's nothing left in Detroit. We taking Arizona.
Yeah. On to the next matchup. The funnest game of the week. We got the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
The 2-11 Texans on the road. What are they, 2-12 now? Week 15, 2-12. So 2-12 Texans on the road against the 2-12 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville 5.5 point favorites at home.
I don't know how they favored or about 5.5.
A whopping 39.5 over under in this one. And look, if I was betting a man, and like,
stay away from
there's no way I would take this game in a bet at all. I think Jacksonville's going to win. Why? No Urban Meyer. You got Darrell Bevel's going to be your new head coach interim. James Robinson's going to finally, hopefully, see some rush. I get it. A lot of people have been beating him up over the last couple weeks for not seeing the heavy load. But we got to recognize he has been dealing with a little bit of an injury, too, over the last 3 weeks. So you can't sit here and just guarantee that he's going to be able to run out there 20 times a game.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have been dealing with a lot of heavy loads, obviously.
Yeah, of course. So the Houston Texans side, Davis Mills. He plays great at home, terrible on the road. So I can't trust the Texans here. I like the Jacksonville Jaguars to win this game. The 5.5, I don't know. Jacksonville has a better defense than Houston. They have a really underrated defense, a decent pass rush. So I'm going to take Jacksonville at the 5.5 because I think they're going to get it done at home. They just played better at home. They beat Buffalo Bills at home. So I'm going to give it to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, man, both these teams suck. Let's give this a teaser, too. If you want to make one pick, a solid pick. You don't know who's going to win. You don't know who's going to cover. Let's say we tease the 7 points and give it 32 points. I mean, if this don't go over 32 points, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That should be a lock of the week. Jacksonville, Houston, over 32 points.
Okay.
That's my pick.
All right, we'll move on to the next matchup.
I have no winner.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys on the road against the New York Giants. Dallas Cowboys minus 11.5 on the road, 44.5 over under. The Giants play better at home. They just beat the Eagles just a couple of weeks ago. But no Daniel Jones. Honestly, the starting quarterback, Glennon, he doesn't look pretty at all. Saquon Barkley dealing with a little bit of an ankle soreness, but he'll probably be ready to go in this game. A lot of the wide receivers probably still banged up. Who knows? Every week it's 2 in, 2 out, and then they just flip-flop every single week. So the Dallas Cowboys, I worry about the offense. It stinks right now. It's not very good. They can't run the football efficiently. All 3 of the receivers are healthy, and they're not getting it done. Dak is really struggling, making mistakes, turning the ball over. Micah Parsons is looking like the man's man out there, making plays all over the field. Not just the defensive rookie of the year, but possibly the defensive player of the year. That's how great he's playing, you know? So I'll tell you right now, the 11.5 points, I don't love it because Dallas Cowboys have struggled on offense, but the defense has been getting it done by far. And it is a divisional game, so 11.5, I could see this being closer than this. But I got to roll with the Dallas Cowboys here just because I think hopefully they can get Zeke going in that offense. And the New York Giants, I can't trust the offense. They look like they've packed up and, they're out, winter's in New York, so they're like, we're out of here. We'll be back in the spring. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to back the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I really like the 11.5, to be honest with you. Even if you do a 1.5 to 10, that'll be great. Dallas is on a different level than the Giants right now, obviously.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even with an inefficient Ezekiel Elliott, if we get Tony Pollard back for this game, that's great. But I don't even think they can hang, to be honest with you. Even earlier in the season, they didn't see all 3 of these wide receivers healthy. I think they're going to smoke them, to be honest with you. But
44-20, I want to say that game was early in the season.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? Amari Cooper, all these guys, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and then you got Wilson over there, Schultz. I don't think they can handle this at all, and I don't think they have no rebuttal for it at all either. If you're scared of it, tease it to 37. You know what I'm saying? Tease the total to 37, over 37, and that'll be a lock for you. But I like the 11.5. Like I said, by a 1.5, you get it at 10, you're good.
Okay.
Dallas.
All right. Yeah, we're both on Dallas. On to the next matchup. We got Tennessee Titans on the road against Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tough matchup.
Tennessee minus 1.5 here, 43 over under. And I'll tell you right now, I got to lean Pittsburgh's way. Pittsburgh at home. Look, Pittsburgh comes out slow, but Tennessee's offense has really been sluggish, especially since losing Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Now, yes, they can run the ball effective enough. Tennessee can, Deontay Foreman, and Pittsburgh's been giving up plays. You saw with Dalvin Cook. I mean, we could have had 6 yards of carry. Honestly,
yeah.
That's how bad those holes were. Yeah, I'm telling you. But Deontay Foreman, can he get it done here? I like him. I think he'll be okay. But I don't love the Tennessee offense as a whole. Their average points has dipped way down since they lost Derrick Henry. Julio Jones, another game healthy. That helps that offense a little bit, but still no
23
AJ.
snaps last week.
Still no AJ Brown. Yeah. So I got to take Pittsburgh here considering I think they just have it on offense. They got more dynamic playmakers at this point. And the defense has defensive playmakers that changed the game with TJ Watt especially.
Especially TJ Watt is playing. I'm looking at the game last week in Minnesota. They came back, from being 29 down in the first half and coming all the way back to pretty much one play to win that game.
Yes.
I don't think Tennessee can handle this. You look at Tennessee defense, they're ranked really high, but, who have they really been playing? You know what I'm saying?
Jacksonville twice, Houston twice.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't been playing nobody. So this Pittsburgh team, I think they have a little bit left in them alive, and they're definitely still in contention, especially how bad, Cincinnati's been playing, how bad the Ravens have been playing. So, I don't think you can put Pittsburgh away in this game at home. Home dogs, Mike Tomlin is 16-2 and 1 in his career. You know what I mean? So I'm taking the dog. I'm gonna take the 1.5. If you want to tease that, about 7. You get 9 points. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much. They gotta lose by 9. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No way.
Yes, this is gonna be over 43 points. I think Tennessee put some points on the board. Hilliard, Deontay Foreman, these guys that can get it done a little bit. Like I said, Julio Jones is there, but don't expect him to be game breaking for you, especially if you're a Tennessee fan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think they will get some points on the board. I don't think this is going to be a shutout by any means, and it definitely goes over the number.
Okay. Yeah. So we're both on Pittsburgh there. We move on to the next matchup.
If I can get there.
Right. Cincinnati Bengals. On the road against the Denver Broncos. Denver at home, a 2.5-point favorite. 44 is the over/under. And look, I was back and forth with this game because, and just going through it really, Cincinnati's a better football team than Denver. That's plain and simple. They got better pass catchers. They got a better quarterback. Their running back, I wouldn't say is necessarily better, but is playing at a higher level at this point. And on the defense, they have a defense that's very similar to Denver, but Denver's defense is a little younger. You know what I mean? So they do make plays at times. They have some higher draft picks, but still here, Denver at home. The defense plays very well. Especially at home. They can run the football. Very effective. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon both will be healthy for this game and ready to go. Cincinnati turns the ball over a lot, and we know this. That's their one problem that they have, and honestly, they should have a better record. 2 or 3 losses were very close.
That's a fact.
So,
that's really a fact.
I want to take Denver here at home because a lot of people don't give Denver the credit is due. They play very well at home. I mean, they beat the Chargers at home. They just come off a big win at home, another big win at home last week. I think the Denver Broncos are going to get it done here. Cincy coming in really needs this game. It's very important.
Yeah,
but Denver's still hanging in there. So I'm going to roll with Denver at the -2.5. I think that defense is going to hold them in it, and I don't know if they can slow down the rushing attack with Williams and Gordon. So
yeah, Cincinnati does need this game. Like I said, they can still compete for the division. To me, this spells trap game all over it, and the trap for me will probably be Cincinnati, back in Cincinnati again. Last week, 12-1 on the week. Cincinnati money line busted for me. Yeah, they got the field goal in overtime, but the Niners came back strong. And then against what was that? The Chargers?
Yeah,
that was my locked in. I had it all the way then, and then Cincinnati dogged me again.
No. Let's go to the worst one. The New York Jets.
That was the one too. Yes.
The New York Jets, where they were 13-point favorites.
I've been backing Cincy for all season long, and they've been killing me. But I'm gonna go +2.5 for Cincinnati in this game. I think the way the game is played, Cincinnati can run this ball a little bit against Denver. I don't think that Denver can run the ball really effectively against Cincinnati, but Denver, where they struggle at on the defense, is the deep ball. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are from a different breed of receiver right now. Yeah. They're playing really good, and Joe Burrow's hitting them at a very efficient rate. I think they can get this done here, set up the play action through Josh Allen, and hit their spots. You know what I'm saying? At least try to hit their spots, and they're going to come up with a couple of them. You see T. Higgins last week against the Niners. He was able to get those deep balls, and I think they'll be able to do the same thing here. The elevation does concern me a lot in this game, and maybe these guys get winded a little bit. So I like them to run this ball a little bit with Joe Mixon and hit their shots, and the 2.5, keep it close to it. I don't want to touch the total or the money line. I'm going to say Cincinnati covers 2.5.
Okay. So we're split on that one. And I understand why. Like I said, I think Cincinnati is the better football team. I just have a feeling they're not going to win the game. So
it's a trap game.
On to the next matchup. We got the Atlanta Falcons on the road against San Francisco 49ers.
Oh my God.
San Francisco
-9.5.
-9.5.
All year, San Francisco.
San Francisco -9.5 here, 46.5 over under. And look, the Atlanta Falcons, they play okay against bad teams. They look good against bad teams. They look bad against against good teams.
Yeah.
And San Francisco's right in this middle pack where they're not necessarily an elite team, but they're a good football team. So I got to back the San Francisco 49ers here. I don't love the 9.5 personally because the Niners don't tend to blow teams out unless they're really bad. And the Falcons, though, they are traveling on the road, so I could see this as a blowout. I like the teaser personally better to drop it to 2.5 and get your 7 points. I think the 49ers are a better football team than Atlanta. And Atlanta has some playmakers, but man, they're still in the playoff hunt too. So they're still right there. This is an important playoff game. Essentially, I got to lean 49ers, though. They're a good football team. They are. You got to give them some credit sometimes.
As wacky as these games have been this year, this should be alive for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't think it's going to be alive for the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to back Vegas, and I'm going to take Atlanta plus 9.5. I think that, Atlanta can score. They can score in bunches. We know that. Sometimes they can get shut out. But we know that San Francisco's secondary is not very good at all. And as a matter of fact, the only reason why teams come back on San Francisco or score points on San Francisco is because of that secondary. I think Cordell Patterson, Kyle Pitts, Russell Gage, I think they can get this done a little bit. I think they could probably, come out with a field goal game here. I'm kind of stressing it's over, but I'm kind of thinking that it might not be an over type of game. Now, Deebo Samuels, all these guys, you know what I'm saying? They have no running back. Is Elijah Mitchell playing this week?
No, he's out.
You know what I mean? So your next guy up is Jeff Wilson. He sucks, so you don't have to really worry about the defense guarding this guy.
Yeah.
This is going to be an all-passing performance, and in this kind of performance, I would probably take Matt Ryan. So I'm taking 9.5, Atlanta with San Francisco winning the football game. Yes, I said it. San Francisco, You're going to win a game, but not by 10 points.
Okay. Then we're pretty much on the same boat. That's why I like the teaser at 2.5. It could be a field goal game considering Atlanta takes field goals a lot. I mean, they have a great kicker, Young Wei Koo.
Young Ho Koo.
Green Bay Packers on the road against the Baltimore Ravens. Green Bay minus 5.5 favored. 43.5 over under here. Baltimore might be without Lamar Jackson. And Tyler Huntley played pretty well in his absence. He has in 2 games. Green Bay. Who's going to stop Devontae Adams? That's my question here. Who's going to stop that passing attack? Because Aaron Rodgers, albeit, like I mentioned in a lot of my videos, every single week he comes out and he says his toe is getting worse, but he keeps playing better. I'm like, there is no excuse at this point. You can't sit. It doesn't matter.
It's probably polished.
You're throwing up 340 yards and 4 touchdowns like it's nobody's business. I'm going to take Green Bay Packers here. The 43.5 over under. I think it could go over because I think Baltimore is going to be able to score some points. But Green Bay coming off a game in which they covered their own spread last week based just on them. 45 points in the 43 over under. So I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers here. They're playing at a different level. Aaron Jones looks healthy. Was limited a little bit in practice, but he's ready to go. They still got A.J. Dillon. I got to back the Packers. They're just playing at a higher level. And Baltimore's kind of fallen down a little bit. Lamar Jackson's been erased over the last 4 or 5 weeks. He just hasn't looked efficient. So even if he's out there, he's not going to be 100%.
And that's why I'm still back in Vegas. Okay. I'm going Baltimore money line, lock, bottom pick. You don't have to take that, but they're going to come back revigorated this week.
Okay.
They're going to come back with a different, you know what I'm saying, aura around them. It's going to be all purple and gray and black, and the Ravens going to win this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Is Ray Lewis coming back this week, too?
We got
Ed Reed? He's gonna
we
be
got
out
the
there?
spirit of Ed Reed on the team. We're coming back this week. Baltimore Ravens is a lock. Don't forget I said it.
Okay. New Orleans Saints on the road against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Let's
Tampa
go.
Bay minus 11.5. 46.5 over under in this one. And I'll be honest, 100%. I got to back New Orleans here just because Tom Brady struggles against the New Orleans Saints. He has in his career, especially for the Buccaneers. The Saints, what can they do well at this point? Run the ball with Alvin Kamara. You know that. Taysom Hill can run the ball effectively enough. And they'll be able to hang in this game. Do I think they're going to win the game? No. I think Tampa finally gets their win against the Saints. Hopefully. Tom Brady's playing at a different level on the season. MVP-like. Number 1 fantasy quarterback. No one else said it here but this guy. And
Yeah.
to be 100% honest, the Buccaneers are going to win the football game.
Michael Parsons, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah. Tampa Bay is
And
going
Mac
to win.
Jones, Rookie of the Year.
Tampa Bay is going to win the football game. New Orleans, I like it at the 11.5.
All right, let's get to the Tampa Bay game. So, what we know about Tom Brady, he has not beat the Saints since he's been Tampa. And the Saints have held him to 7 points in the first half, and that's how they've beaten this guy. Margin of victory. Tampa Bay usually wins by 21 points at home. I don't see this 11.5. I don't know where they got this number from. You know what I'm saying? I think the key to victory here, you look at Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts. They were very successful against this Tampa Bay team. Mobile quarterbacks, not exactly the running back. It's the perfect recipe for the New Orleans Saints for a guy that does not take carries between the tackles as much. What you want with that mallet finger from Taysom Hill is you want him to throw short passes to Alvin Kamara and run the football himself. Not Mark Ingram, not Alvin Kamara,
Yeah.
not nobody else. And if they do this and be able to take this time away from this clock, the same way that Brady's going to take this time away from this clock and commit them to 7 points in this first half, this second half where they don't play the running game, just the way this Buffalo game just went, you got yourself a W. I'm backing New Orleans 11.5 in this game. I think Tampa Bay edges this game out, but I don't think it's going to be 11.5 or even close to it, to be honest with you. Let's go. New Orleans Saints 11.5. That's my pick. That's my lock of the week.
Okay. So now we get to the Monday actually afternoon games and night games because we have some changes. So Las Vegas Raiders.
There's some
on the road. Yeah, these a lot of these games I wouldn't touch them at all because who knows what's going to happen. So Las Vegas Raiders on the road against Cleveland Browns. Cleveland is now a 3.5 point dog here. Raiders favored by 3.5. 38 is the over/under. 38 points. And Cleveland
38 points.
That's the over/under. And Cleveland, what can you say here? No Baker Mayfield because of COVID. Case Keenum. The other guy, Nick Mullins, should be starting more than likely in this game. No Jarvis Landry. Austin Hooper. You got 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen, 4 or 5 of their starting defensive players. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no way I could bet this game unless you're going to bet it on Monday, like an hour before the game, because you have to see who's active and inactive for me to be able to be comfortable to take this. I'll tell you right now, knowing that many of these players may not play in this game, I got to take the Raiders. Just at the advantage that, there's too many holes. That offensive line, the Raiders can still generate a pass rush. You know what I mean? So I got to back the Raiders here at 3.5, and the 38, who throw it out the window. Yeah,
the player inactives and the actives right now, as it stands here on Saturday, where we're talking to you, I got to back the Raiders a lot in this game. You have to have players on the field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes these players get hurt, so you interchange them. They don't have that right now. You know what I mean? They don't have a starting quarterback. Nick Chubb's played like shit in the last month, pretty much. I don't know what to say here. Kareem Hunt, where's he at?
He's out. Yeah, he's out. He's on COVID and he's out.
Maybe this is the Ernest Johnson type game. If you're in fantasy land, 38 points. I guess they handicapping this pretty right. You know what I mean? I got the Raiders.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Period. They got to win this game. If they lose this game, they've
been losing pretty embarrassingly. Don't get me wrong, but you know what? They've actually dominated the AFC North, so that's why I'm also going to roll with them.
Yeah, Raiders will die.
Okay,
let's go.
So on to the next matchup. We got the regularly scheduled Monday Night Football game: the Minnesota Vikings on the road against the Chicago Bears. Chicago is plus 5.5.
The prime time
I don't know, but Minnesota is minus 5.5. 44 is the over/under here. And look, the only reason I'm backing Chicago here is because I think they'll be able to hang in the game by a field goal. I don't think they're going to win, and I'm taking my chances here because Minnesota could beat them by 2 touchdowns. But you saw it last week, Minnesota. They just give up points, especially in the secondary. And right now, Justin Fields has made some plays, big plays, and they have some speedy receivers that can make some plays. So Darnell Mooney's a good, fast receiver. You got, Jakeem Bird, is that his name? Or Jakeem Grant Sr.? He's definitely a guy. So
I thought he played for the Pistons.
I'm gonna back the Chicago Bears here at 5.5. And look, I think Minnesota gets the game done. They got more playmakers on both sides of the ball right now. But I just think the Bears are gonna hang.
Hey, my pick in this game is Minnesota, obviously, over 44. You know what I'm saying? You look at it on the season, undefeated, over 46.5. You know what I mean? So I'm going to take this. Like you said, they give a point in the back end. They can give it up. It is what it is. But Minnesota wins this game, and it will be over 46 points. Lock.
Okay. On to the next matchup. We got our Tuesday night matchups. Because this is normal. We got our 2 COVID games that we got to be talking about. Washington football team on the road against Philadelphia Eagles. Philadelphia minus 9.5 at home. 44 is the over/under here. Washington football team, once again, is in a lot like the Cleveland Browns. They're on to their 4th string quarterback. They signed somebody. I couldn't tell you who the starter is at this point. I'm not really sure. Taylor Heineke today was placed on COVID-19, or COVID, today is Friday, so he's more than likely out. You're looking at Kyle Allen was already placed on the COVID list. They're dealing with half their defense, you know what I mean? Just, it's not pretty.
Not only second, but on being on COVID too.
Yeah, of course. So Philly getting a little healthier. Jalen Hurts, honestly, giving him a couple days rest. Don't move in that Tuesday. That only bodes well for him because he was already looking like he was questionable to come in. Then you got Miles Sanders, Jordan Howard. Both those guys looking like they're active and ready to go. The offensive weapons are healthy, and Philly's at home, and they're favored for a reason. I got to back Philly at 9.5. For me, I would tease it to 2.5 to be on the safer side, but I got to back Philly here.
Yeah, I'm backing Philly too. Jordan Howard in this game. We see Miles Sanders suck. That's what he does. He sucks. But
He just doesn't find the end zone. He's great. He just can't find the end zone. He can't.
He sucks. But, going into this game, Jordan Howard is healthy, so they playing him. If you don't like the 9.5, I get it. I don't like the 9.5 Philly as well. Tease it to a field goal, 2.5. You get tease it 7 points, you get a field goal at 2.5. You know what I mean? I think that's very. I wouldn't lock that, but I really think that's very fair. I think there's value in 2.5 for Philly here, even though I think they roll against a team that don't have no players, just like the Browns. You know what I mean? 44. I'm trying to look at this total. I don't know how many points Washington put up with a fourth-string quarterback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, rock with the 2.5 if you like. You know what I'm saying? If you like Philly, in this game, and you're scared of the 9.5. Teases 7, 2.5. You got a field goal.
I'd probably take the under in this one just because I think Washington might struggle to score points, and Philly doesn't typically score a lot of points. They run the ball heavy, so I mean it would take a defensive touchdown, in my opinion, to put it over the 44. But we're both on Philly. So on to the last Tuesday night game. They moved the Seattle Seahawks on the road against the Los Angeles Rams to Tuesday. -4.5. The Rams are 45.5 over under, and the Rams. What can you say? They got a lot of COVID outbreaks too. Lots of players on COVID. OBJ's one of them. Darrell Henderson? He's still on the COVID list. I mean, Jalen Ramsey's still. Hey, Mike White's been on the COVID list for like 6 weeks.
Oh my God!
But Jalen Ramsey's on the COVID list. I mean, the COVID list just keeps adding and adding, especially for the Rams on this side of the ball. Seattle, what can you say? Tyler Lockett placed on the COVID list. That hurts that offense immensely, considering that's Russell Wilson's favorite target. And Russell Wilson, he's looked okay over the last couple weeks, but to be honest, plays poorly against the Rams, especially over the last 4 weeks. Or 4 games that he played against the Rams. I want to say he's got 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions over his last 4 games against the Rams. So I can't back the Seattle Seahawks here, even in a game in which the Rams could be without some players. This is one of those games, like I mentioned, if you're betting the Tuesday games, I mean, you might as well just pack it up, maybe move to the next week, because the COVID, situations could be just too strong to be able to feel comfortable betting some of these. But I still like the Rams to get it done here. They still got Matt Stafford. Sony Michel's going to be out there, and Cooper Kupp's going to be out there. Those guys are going to bring it home. I like the Rams at -4.5.
Yeah, I got the Rams to smash them. You know what I mean? You look at safety help banged up, one out for the season. Lockett not being there, or potentially not being there. I mean, Russell Wilson just has a thing for Tyler Lockett, obviously. He has, like, the biggest wide receiver and the fastest wide receiver in the world, but you don't throw to him. So what does that matter? I mean, you know what I mean? We're going to Rams or die.
Yeah, of course. So now let's get to our best bets. Just a few picks that we like as complete locks this week. And I'll start with mine. First off, mine's going to start with the teasers. San Francisco, -2.5. You drop it down 7. It's 9.5, so you drop it to 2.5. I think they're going to win by a field goal. It's easy, at least. New England. I like New England at +9.5. You're going to tease that game. That'll give you 9.5 points. New England's not going to get blown out by the Colts. They're going to be able to hang in the game. Miami, -2.5. Just a safer bet here against the Jets, because there's still some COVID situations we don't know. Arizona, -6.5 here. They're just a better football team than the Detroit Lions. I think they'll win by a touchdown at least. They could beat them by 2 touchdowns, but it's just a safer way to go.
All right, let's get into my picks of the week. So we're looking at totals. I'm going to go Minnesota over 44, but teases down to 37. You got yourself a win. Arizona, we like that to go over as well, especially with the backdoor scoring, what Detroit can possibly do. But if you tease that 7 points, you have 40.5. That's pretty much a lock. Let's go into some of these spread picks. Dallas, tease at 7, 4.5. Pittsburgh, +8.5. And Miami, you get a field goal.
Yeah, of course. So that's it. That's been our picks of the week, heading into week number 15. So if you have any questions or comments, drop in the comment section. We'll be glad to give you our advice or our opinions on anything NFL related, fantasy related, whatever you got. And while you're there, don't forget, like the video, subscribe, share, thumb bell for all your information all season long. We're going to have the playoffs. We'll have a bunch of stuff coming up for the playoff picture, for the Super Bowl, all that good stuff. So for the first 4 downs, it's been B. Scott.
Godzilla.
And we out.
Yeah, you already know this. See you next week.